Well,
it's the
cheers
first
to
one.
that, because we've had our first nightmare. So sorry about that, everybody. But welcome. Hopefully we're going live now. And I wish I drank a bottle of wine now instead of just a sip, because my technical issues were just too much then. Sorry about that, ladies.
Well, next week you'll have to have 2 glasses.
Oh, make sure we can do it right. Oh my God. I'm going to sack that producer. That's you. Oh, all right. I'll sack myself then. Right. So, everybody, welcome to Chit Chat Show, the very first episode, where we're going to talk about all the things potentially that you've been thinking about for the last several weeks. No matter how daft they are, I can guarantee we've been there and we've thought it. And the likelihood is one of us three is going to say it. And just so everybody knows, you know, I think some people thought they were going to be on camera, but actually it is at this moment, and it's going to be the 3 of us on camera. You all will be able to watch this live on Facebook, and you will be able to get involved by perhaps putting comments on Facebook, and I will try and keep my eye on that so that we can interact with you in the best way that we know how. Going forward, obviously, I might have to sack the producer once more, but we're going to find out how this works. If we don't get back to you tonight, I can assure you, we will get back to you either in the week or on next week's show. And depending on what people say, will depend on who we invite as a guest on next week's show, because it won't just be the 3 of us. Each week, we are hoping to have another guest, one of you guys who is going to join us and join in the chat. Basically, that's what, would you agree, girls? That's what we're going to bring it up to. Definitely. And just a couple of things before I start. So if you want to get involved, please write in the comments below the live stream. That will help us greatly. And as I say, I will try and keep we will all try and keep an eye on that and see if we can respond in the best way we know how. The other things that I've got to tell. Happy VE Day, Susie. Absolutely love your bunting. Looks brilliant. The kids on it. Look, I even coloured into myself today. Good job. I've got a red lipstick on. I've got my red top on.
I've got my red, white and blue on, by the way.
I've got some blue on.
Unfortunately, I haven't done any celebrating. So I haven't done any celebrating outside of here. But I think it's absolutely wonderful that I've seen the amount of street parties that are going on. Obviously,
amazing,
social distancing, and all my friends that have made lovely scones, because I say scones, not scones. Just saying. Think they're brilliant. Just wish I had some. That's all. What have you guys been up to?
Yeah, well, today I haven't really done much for VE Day, obviously. Being in Spain and in lockdown and very remote, but I did make the effort, and I've got my red, my white and my blue on for tonight, and I've even got my 40s hairstyle. Look, girls, what do you think?
It looks brilliant.
It's a big change from shorts and hair tied back and nothing else, but I have to say and tell you the truth, I've still got my jeans on underneath, and I've still got my trainers on as well. So a bit like Prince William. I feel like Prince William. He didn't have anything on at all underneath from the top down, apparently. So
I was just going to say, I'm quite grateful you've got anything on underneath. So that's, you know what I mean. So that's a bit random.
Yeah, but he's a lot younger than me, so I'm sure he looks amazing. But unfortunately, that's what you get with me. I am what I am, but yeah, I haven't done a lot for VE Day, but I'm sure I've seen lots of people enjoying themselves, having street parties and the red arrows flying over London, and every sort of thing that you can imagine. The choirs doing a conference and singing Vera Lynn's "We'll Meet Again" and everything, which is quite apt for the moment, because obviously we're missing all our friends and families and all the rest of it. But to be honest, it's a wonderful day, and it's such a shame that it can't be a true street party like there was 75 years ago. But at that, we have to remember the people that we are celebrating and that we are remembering, and it's a really lovely way of saying thank you.
100%.
So yeah, Yeah,
you know,
that's,
quite
you
an
know,
interesting thing you saying that, Liz, because as you both, my nan lived till she was 102, and she did tell me quite a few stories. And of course, I was quite close to my granddad when he was alive, and he told me a few, which, you know, and you get to know about those, and that's because of the age that I am, obviously over 21. But I heard recently, and I don't know how you both feel about this, but I heard recently there's a debate going on at the moment where they're trying to stop schools delivering this in history, letting the kids, they want to take it out of history because they think it delivers the wrong message to the kids. And I feel quite strongly that that shouldn't happen. They need, it's part of our history. This is what's given us freedom now to be the country that we are. Those people and all those thousands and thousands of people that died.
I heard that.
And this is such a great day.
Story where they were saying it's almost, it's too sad and it's bad for their mental health to hear
That's
about.
right. Yeah.
That's just crazy. Obviously, it's the most amazing story going forward of what people achieved and what they did and how they overcome it. And some people at young ages. So, you know, other people might think differently, but personally, it's our history.
It is history. And it's 75 years. It's not that long ago. And there's a lot of people, I'm sure, Captain Tom Moore would have something to say about that, and he's still alive to say it. And we've all got, my mum's still alive, and actually she will remember. She was a little girl when that happened, so she will have memories from it. And there's a lot of people that still are, but those memories go down generations, and actually you can't deny that it's part of our history. And I think somebody that's listening, somebody should start a petition to say they absolutely should not stop this being taught in history.
I understand.
Just thought I'd mention that.
I understand that some people might think it's horrific, and yes, it must have been horrific in all ways. Not only the fighting, but also the concentration camps, also the people in London that were, you know, and Coventry and other big cities that were being bombed at the time, and also in other countries that were bombed. It's vice versa, really. I mean, like Chrissy's mom, my husband's mom. She was an evacuee, a child evacuee, and she was evacuated to Wales. And she remembers that so acutely, everything that happened to her when she was evacuated, you know. So there are people still, obviously, in living memory that do remember being children. But it was quite strange because I saw a program on one of the news broadcasts tonight where they were having a party in the street, and an older lady who'd lived through it as a young child said, yes, it was bad, but not as bad as it is now, because you could go out, you could still be with your families, you know, so we are actually in a time that is going to be historic as well.
Absolutely.
And for the children, they are going to know that the coronavirus, the virus that has spread globally, has had such an horrific effect on families.
Absolutely.
That, you know, they should be shielded to some of the things, such as the Holocaust at an early age. But I think certainly when they get into secondary school, it's a way of them realising how futile things can be.
I understand what you're saying, Liz, but the truth is, it is history and it is fact, and actually people should know about it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, obviously we're going to move on to other things, but I just thought that was important to say today. But I'm just going to give a shout out, because I'm not being rude, everyone. I'm trying to keep an eye on my phone so that, you know, if there are any questions or comments coming in, that I can respond to them. But also, I'm going to give a shout out to Yvonne Hill, who is watching, and she set up a watch party with some of her friends. So well done, Yvonne. Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you.
So, and you know, thank you to anybody that is actually supporting us at the moment. So, so if you see me turning away, it's not because I'm being rude. It's because I'm trying to help you guys and try and be a little bit for everybody.
Actually, I think it's because she's trying to take a sneaky sip of wine so we don't see her. So don't absolutely no notice. Yeah, long straw, Susie.
Well, I'm going to also, a couple of shout outs I'm definitely going to give out. So just bear with me a minute, ladies. So a shout out to Debbie, she's watching us. Great.
Hi, Deb.
Carol Bailey, she's watching us. Hayley Drew.
Hi.
Where's Hayley at the moment? Is she in Spain or the UK? Where's Hayley? Is she in Spain or the UK? Because I don't know.
In the UK at the moment.
Hi Hayley, glad to see you in the UK. Missing you.
Yeah. With Hayley, Hayley's just opened a bottle of martini that she had in Spain with a bottle of gaseosa. So now she's got really fond memories of drinking at Bar Rosie with me. So cheers, Hayley.
And probably with me too. Cheers, Hayley. Yes. Oh, and a shout out to Nev. Nev, I'm so glad you're feeling better. It's brilliant. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Nev.
Katie Lottie's joining us. Hayley, she just said hi. Brilliant. See, we're having a drink for you. Hang on a minute. I'm going to make this a big one because this one's for you, Hayley. Hang on.
Suzie, just on that note.
Definitely tasted better. I needed that.
Yeah.
Suzie, just on that note, were you taught anything about the world wars when you were at school? Was it in your curriculum?
Absolutely, yeah, big part of history. It was.
And how did you process? Was it something that terrified you, horrified you?
No, not at all. It's part of any type of historic event, isn't it? I think if anything, it shows the resilience of the nation, the resilience of the people, and how so many people come together from different backgrounds, different cultures to help out. And it also shows how divide and conquer and things like that could go. So from my perspective, particularly when you put it to the situation we're in now, which is equally, I say equally horrific. I don't know that we don't know what we're dealing with at the moment, but yeah, it's horrific. But again, what we're showing is stories of resilience through it, and how, as unity comes through. So definitely, I think everybody, information is power more than anything else. And if you shield people from things, I don't see.
Yeah, and I also think it's not just obviously the British soldiers that we are remembering. I mean, obviously the Commonwealth. Yeah, the Commonwealth soldiers also fought. So you're looking at the Sikhs, you're looking at the Pakistanis, you're looking at the Canadians, Americans, the French, all the allies, the Jamaicans, everyone that was involved to try and crush the tyranny of Hitler and Germany's strife to rule the whole of Europe for certain. So
it's a shout out to everybody, isn't it? And that's what I wanted to say. And I just wanted to say, I really think, I hope, please don't tell me I have to do it myself, but set up a petition to say it should not be stopped. I understand and nobody understands about mental health more than I do, but actually there are some things that they can't blame things like that. There's lots of other reasons for it. And in the end, you'll have people living in cotton wool balls. You can't shield them from stuff like that, and it's fact, it's history, it's part of our heritage. And we've all got family that were in it, that lived it, and that's going to be obviously the end of that subject. But I just wanted to say that because I think it's really important, and
I just want to add to that in that also the Queen Elizabeth II, who's now our Queen, obviously, she lived through that. She was a land girl. She was very active. So were her parents, visiting all the bomb areas in London. And on VE Day, the Queen Elizabeth and her sister Margaret, they sneaked out of Buckingham Palace incognito and actually went onto the streets with all the other revellers, celebrating the end of the war in Europe, and they celebrated with the citizens of England alongside, and had an absolutely brilliant day apparently. And obviously no one knew them.
No one knew they were. How brilliant is that?
Fantastic.
And that's what I mean. It's part of our history, and they've got to keep it. So let's set up a petition. Somebody on there, get that started. It's a quick shout out. Chris is watching us from Spain. Jordan Stewart, Karen Tooth, all watching. Hi everybody.
Thank
you for supporting us. Quick shout out as well. A little birdie has told me it's somebody's birthday today, and I believe it's a lady called Pam Norris. Is it your birthday today? Yes, I know.
Happy birthday,
Pam. Happy birthday, Pam. Hope you've had a brilliant day.
It's just a celebration birthday in lockdown. It's one you'll never forget.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, the Suzie should know.
And that's the thing, isn't it? People are celebrating, but they're celebrating with friends through conferencing on things such as Zoom, team meetings, Messenger, all the rest. So where would we be? I mean, can you imagine what it was like 75 years ago to what it is now, how we can still connect and, you know, and have things like Zoom. I mean, look, there's been a few hiccups, hasn't there, on these conferences?
Minor ones.
Oh, I swear to God, have you seen some of them? Because, oh my God, there was the lady who jumped out of the shower, realised she hadn't got a towel, ran to the cupboard, stark naked, to grab a towel, didn't know her husband was on a work conference, Zoom or whatever it was, meeting, stark naked. That was, oh my God, you'd be mortified, wouldn't you? Absolutely mortified. Hey, and what about the woman who thought she was on mute when actually she wasn't, and she let out the most massive fart?
Oh my God!
Can you imagine?
Fear.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Farts can actually start a war. Let me just quickly go through this with you.
It's quite so right.
And this is the truth. This is in Spain, down by the southern Spain. And what happened was, we have in southern Spain, there's a lot of gitanos, which are gypsies, and they live and they're fine and no problem. But what happened was, this guy walked past a couple, and he did the most horrendous fart. It stank, it was loud, but he did it while he was passing a gang of an opposite gang of gypsies. So the other gypsy then took umbrage to that, and so did his wife. So he farted back, and it carried on with that. The trouble was, it didn't stay there, because they were like opposing gangs. Eventually, it got to almost a war where guns were produced, and the one got shot in the stomach 3 times, and the other one got shot in the leg, and they were both taken to hospital for farting.
That turned dark quick, didn't it, from a fart?
Exactly.
That was supposed to be a funny story, so bad.
No, I have to say, it was a funny story to begin with, but oh my God.
Yeah, you've got to understand, you know.
The worst fart, though, is the worst thing in the world, isn't it? You saw I don't know if many of you have seen it or not, but the video I posted, the introduction video on the Facebook group, was myself and my 4-year-old son outside in a little tent, which he demanded that I go play with him, because he gets a bit tired of me being on my meetings and stuff like that, so I give him the attention when he needs it. And we went out there and he was loving it. It's been so loving. Oh, Mommy, it's lovely. Close your eyes, Mommy, let me give you some nice dreams. And he's touching my forehead, and he closes the door, and I did my video, put the video down, and then he just let out the biggest, smelliest fart.
Oh God, kids can be cruel, can't they?
Boys are gross.
Do you know what? Boys are gross. They can be really gross.
I thought you just
they think it's funny.
He thought it was brilliant. I'm going.
Why do they think it's funny? Why is farting funny?
I don't know. They just do. They just think it is.
Actually, we actually call him Trump, which is a bit apt, isn't it? Because of President Trump at the minute, but we call it Trump. Trump.
Yeah. Well, he's a big fart as far as I'm concerned. But, we weren't going to go into politics, but he's a big fart as far as I'm concerned. I can't believe what he's doing, but anyhow. I mean, we were in Greece, we were on holiday, and I got my 2 boys. We were in a nightclub, and this lady was there. She was lovely, great lady. She was beautiful. She had the most amazing clothes and hair, and she was a hairdresser. And we were in the middle of the club, and she farted, and I mean, it was rank, absolutely rank. My boys will remember this. She cleared the whole club within about 3 minutes. Everyone just left.
Rotten.
So it's not nice. So really, we wear masks across our face. I think some people should be wearing masks across their faces.
Keep it trapped in. Save us all.
Exactly.
Some people should obviously wear them permanently.
Yeah.
But I mean, people, you know, people that are watching us, maybe in the comments you can tell us some of the funny stories, if you know of any that you've perhaps encountered on Zoom. And I'm not being funny, but just before we started this, And I still don't know if this is going to be live, because I did have a few technical issues with my producer, but
it does say live on Facebook on my screen.
Yeah, but when it is now, but before, when I wasn't sure that it was, and actually, if I remember rightly, I did actually swear quite badly.
I swore as well. I swore. Sorry, girl. I swore. Yeah, I swore.
Yeah, I can't say much really. But yeah, just one other thing. I don't know how many people know, but there was actually the anchorman who actually is from your end, Liz. He's from Spain, and he was actually doing the live news show on Zoom or some other software, and a nearly naked woman walked behind him, going off.
She was gorgeous.
And yeah, absolutely, yeah. And of course, and the eagle-eyed viewers spotted, which is all very well. I mean, that's embarrassing enough, but the truth is, it wasn't his fiance.
Oh,
take a breath. The viewers on Twitter recognised that it wasn't his girlfriend, and he has now had to try and backtrack, and I don't know, it's coming out now.
Rules was he breaking then, though? Anyway, by having
no social distancing, was it? But, you know,
the same household as him and his girlfriend, does she? Clearly.
Apparently, they were on a 4-day break.
Oh, well.
Break. They're on a bigger break now, I would imagine.
I think they would. Yeah, I did see
the one from would be on a bigger break.
The one from Trini, Trini from Trini and Susanna.
Oh yeah,
he was doing a makeup tutorial, and obviously husband was in the shower and just walked butt naked through. She had no idea. She just cracked on.
Well, you'll be pleased to know I've banished Chris to the bedroom, so you won't be getting any horror stories from me.
Timing would have been impeccable then if he had.
Yeah, but there's some nice, but you know what? That's because they're working from home, they're doing what they should do, they're in isolation, and that's life. It's what people do, you know, they just live. I mean, not so much the two-timing anchorman from Spain, but hey, you know, things do happen.
Well, I will just mention this, ladies, and I'm just going to say, if you spot anyone walking behind me, you need to get really worried.
I'll call my name.
Because I will be worried.
Yeah. Well, it's okay, because Jordan's watching, so he's on it.
He'll be on it. Yeah,
he'll be on it.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be a bit of a worry. So anyway, girls, tell me, you know, how have you been coping through all of this? Because you in Spain, Liz, things are a bit different for you in Spain over there, aren't they? So tell me how you've been coping.
Well, just so happens I got this down. There's been a few funny things going on, but I'll start with the phases that we're going through first. Spain is coordinating with the different regions, and they're going through 4 phases. And there's 4 regions at the moment that are able to go into the next phase. It's Barcelona, Girona, Lleida, and Tarragona. I was going to start speaking in Spanish then. I just stopped myself. Right, okay. So phase 0 is already underway, and that's letting children out for walks. And then...
just stop me a second, Liz. Just tell everybody, so how long have you, because you've been in lockdown longer than us, haven't you? So how long have you actually been in lockdown? Can you remember? Because I've lost track of time here.
Midnight on the 13th of March, my husband was in the bar. He was devastated that he wouldn't be able to go again for quite a while. So he remembers that as like it's imprinted into his brain. So the 13th of March, yeah, unlucky 13. And they were all having a drink, so they made the most of it. And at midnight, everything just shut down.
Wow.
So, and now
it's when the 13th.
I remember ours being the 23rd was when I got sent from work. You know, that was the
23rd.
So about
10 days later, yeah.
Yeah, you were around about a fortnight after us. So, and obviously it was, for people who were stranded, it was horrendous. I mean, like Hayley who's watching, she was stuck in a flat in Benidorm for 10, 14 days or whatever, and really was struggling to try and get home, or at least get back to Tivens, to a home here. And so I know, you know, it has been horrendous. But at the same time, she's a very robust lady who can make the most of anything. And
did you hear that, Hayley? Did you hear that,
yes,
Hayley? She's calling you robust.
She is. She's strong. she's strong. You know what I mean? They can get on with it. So luckily for them, they didn't go into meltdown so badly. So since then, there's been nothing until recently, as I say. And then they're letting the children out for walks. And then most of the provinces, not all of them, are going into phase 1, which includes opening of certain businesses, such as restaurants, but only takeaway, and some sports, professional training. And then stuff that won't attract the crowds, like the malls and stuff like that. And then phase 2, restaurants and bars will be open, but only a third of capacity, and outside with table service. They're not allowed to go in. They've got to have the 2-meter distances. Everyone's got to wear masks, and certainly on public transport, they've got to wear a mask.
Question, Liz. Quick question. How? I might be in a bit stupid here. How are you going to wear masks when you're eating out?
Well, yeah, and having a drink. Maybe we'll get one of these little holes put in with a straw. Have a straw.
Just saying, shall we cut the lips out?
No, I saw that funny video of that where some man was behind the counter and he said, I'm going to have to film this woman coming in, you've got to see this. And she walked in, he's like, oh, I love your mask, brilliant, what have you done to it? And she went, and she's cut out the middle section. She went, I couldn't really breathe. Couldn't breathe in it.
Well, that's what I've got visions of in a restaurant. How are you supposed to eat with a mask on?
Well, I don't think the bars will be serving food unless you take it away. It'll be if you have a drink. I think they're going to have one of those bendy stores that you maybe be able to stick at the corner. I honestly
the ones we used to wear.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how it's going to be. But obviously it's going to be, the distancing is going to be the thing. And then phase 2, restaurants that will open, and they'll have table service at a third of the capacity. Cinemas, theatres and exhibitions also at a third of the capacity. And schools won't be fully open until September. And then phase 3 is new normality, make the movement of people more flexible, use masks as still recommended, and then the retailers will be open at 50% capacity with measures for restaurants to be used as appropriate.
They have been more strict than we have, Liz, and I think I think that, you know, as we go on, we'll perhaps go into that a bit further. But I would say they've been quite a bit more strict than. People think they've been strict here, but in Spain, only through talking to you, I know they've been stricter. Just a quick shout out, girls. I'm just going to say we've got a few more people that have joined us now. Katie McDonald's watching us, Rachel Reed, Jackie Smith, Becky McDonald, Jane Jenks, Alison, and Alison and Becky Bosworth, she's watching, Ashley.
Hi, Beck. Hi, Ali.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. You know, we asked about the funny Zoom messages, but Alison has said she's seen a Zoom funny. The Supreme Court in the US, a lawyer was presenting his argument, and there was the unmistakable sound of a toilet flushing, which was quite meant for that. And Rachel Reed has said the best video she saw was on this morning, John Turode cooking a McDonald's muffin and setting his tea towel on the cooker on fire. And it was Phil and Holly that had to actually tell him that it was on fire. So So
that would have been Gino. That's the sort of thing that Gino would be doing, really. You know. So just to finish off, though, the state of alarm has had an extension now, so we're still on lockdown with very limited movement until the 23rd of May, as far as it goes. So so that's been it. But there's been a lot of funny stories. Can I just quickly tell you this one? A couple of weeks ago, it's called Buddy Hell. That was the title of
Buddy Hell.
Buddy Hell. Okay. And that was the title of the news report. And what it was is, I mean, it's sad and it's funny. A drug dealer had been arrested after faking the circumstances of his mother's death in a bid to protect his illicit business. The couple, him and his girlfriend, called the emergency yesterday, whenever it was, claiming the mother had been very ill on a walk in Granada and needed help. When paramedics arrived, the woman, who was in a wheelchair, wheelchaired into the street, into the street, was already dead. Oh, the medical team quickly realised she'd been dead for much longer than the daughter had claimed. They were slow to collaborate. They tried to perform CPR, and the leading doctor knew there was something going, so he contacted police straight away. The police then knew there was more to it, so they searched the home and found 2 rooms dedicated to marijuana. That's where the bloody hell comes in, with 142 buds hanging from the ceiling in the process of drying.
So they obviously didn't want anyone in there.
They didn't want it there. And everything, they had everything necessary for large-scale cultivation, the police said, and they were obviously detained before being released on charges of a crime against public health for the marijuana, but also defrauding the electricity board because they had hooked up the house on the electricity illegally to the supply network.
Oh my God! So everybody else was paying for it to be grown. Oh my God!
And this poor old girl wheeled out, God knows how long she'd gone, but they wheeled her out in her wheelchair into the street.
So they didn't go in the house?
So that they didn't go in the house, yeah.
I mean, isn't it terrible the ways people's mind think? But,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, talk about secrets. I mean, honest to God, it's just...
Wait,
it's so incredible.
Victoria's not the only one with secrets, is she?
No, exactly. And of course, if anyone's got some really juicy secrets that they do want to divulge, they can always get in touch with us, can't they?
And you know what? You can tell us. We won't tell anyone.
We won't say where it's come
from. We won't tell anyone. So anyway, Suzie, so how have you been coping through all this? Because I know, you know what's funny here is that, I don't know how many of you have seen them. A couple of the celebrities have been on TV moaning about how they're coping in the lockdown or not coping in the lockdown. I'm like, what? In your £5 million mansion with your 60 rooms and your tennis courts and your swimming pool and your horses, you're not coping? Yeah. You know, this is about the ordinary people, and we're the ordinary people. So let's know how we're coping. And on that note, Suzie, tell us a bit about how you've been coping.
I don't, you know, everyone deals with things differently, and everyone's got different levels of stress and anxiety and capacity that they can cope with. So even if you're in a big mansion or in a little house, I get that you can find some things a struggle. I get that. However, I
let them have that
with it in my current situation. But you know, it's been a lot of adapting, to be fair, as it has been for everybody. I'm working from home, which I know how fortunate I am that I can do that. So, you know, I'm very proud of the fact that I'm able to still be working. I've got 2 children. One of them's a 4-year-old, turned 4 in February. The other one's 13. So I'm trying to homeschool the 13-year-old at the same time, and balance that with trying to keep a 4-year-old entertained. My partner is still working. He's in the food supply chain, so he's still leaving the house, which has an added risk element to it as well that you find.
Nothing else to worry about.
Some work are off at the minute. He usually does 3 days on, 3 days off, but at the minute he's doing 5-6 days a week, so he's constantly out, and that's added pressure on 2 sides then. For the first 2 weeks, I'll be honest, I think I sat in the corner rocking for most of it. And I couldn't, it's that change between, you know, you escape from home, don't you? Escape from home is the right way to put it, but you do, and go to work. Focus just on work.
To work for rest, don't you? You do go to work for rest, you know. Whenever I get stressed, I think about you guys, and I'm like, oh, I'm so lucky.
You're trying to do that now.
Sorry, Suze. Yeah, carry on.
Been some classic, I say, Microsoft Teams we're using, but Teams moments or phone call moments where I'm speaking to businesses or trying to speak to people on the phone or facing people like this, and you know, my toddler will come running in. He just wants to get his head in the frame, and
oh bless.
Yeah, because you did it first. You got quite stressed out. You got quite stressed out about that at the beginning, didn't you? Right?
Yeah, those first few weeks, it was very. I got very angry with them. I think I completely approached it all wrong. Like, my stress levels were very high. I was constantly, I'll be honest, I was constantly probably in tears the most time, and I was just, I can't cope. I was shouting at the kids a lot. I didn't get it into my head that actually this is their home first and I'm their mom first, and if I'm working at home, I need to give my attention to them when they need it.
Absolutely.
And they need to know then, you know, we come together as a team, to be fair. The 3 of us come together as a team, and we managed to get through it a little bit better. It still has its challenges. Daily, we still have our little challenges, you know, having a teenager as well. She's mean, she's amazing. She's coping so well. She actually said to me that she likes it better because she's not being distracted by the idiots in her class.
Oh, bless her.
What she produces is like, wow.
That's honest, isn't it? That's honest.
Yeah.
And she's interacting with the teachers, and I you know, keep a bit of an eye on what she's doing and help her out when she needs to. But then I go to Google to find out what she bloody means.
Get the answers.
But you know, we kind of get through it that way. But he's harder because anybody who's got a toddler right there will just know, and he is very demanding in lots of ways. Yeah. He's very loud,
and they don't understand, Susie, that you're talking business and
I wouldn't even know
like
how to explain it to him, you know.
No.
How do you approach it? This is why we can't, and he doesn't understand why he can't go and see his friends. He can't go, no, nursery, he was full-time in nursery, that suddenly stopped. And then that was a panic, then thinking, well, how do you get a preschooler then ready? Because potentially when we go back, he's going to be going straight to primary school. That's a massive jump. For anybody.
Yeah, but at that age, they do adjust, believe me, they will. I mean, look at Christian. I mean, we brought him over here, he hadn't got a clue, but within 6 months, he was speaking the language. Within 12 months, he was totally ensconced. So do not worry about kids. They are the most adaptable creatures you'll ever have. You know, I mean, it's like Phoebe's. Doesn't she go to cadets or something? And she's doing that as well.
The RAF cadets. So when she absolutely adores that, and that suddenly stopped. But more because I'm in the CivCom committee as well, and we had our first online meeting with that just a few weeks ago, and they were saying how they were going to introduce online cadets. So she had her first Microsoft Teams online cadet troop meeting. She was very nervous before she did it, and I felt quite honoured that I could show her the ropes a little bit because
Hey, that's good, isn't it? You were able to show your teenagers some of the technical stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be a first.
Technology.
That'll be a first.
Yeah, that needs to go down in history because that's never going to happen again. Just saying.
She came to me for help and went, Mum, I'm a bit nervous about this RAF meeting because I've seen him. And I'm like, don't worry. And actually got two of my colleagues on a meeting and said, do you mind just rehearsing this with us so she can see how it works and knows what to press when. And so that was really, I was really grateful for my colleagues for doing that with me. But she was brilliant. And she's really loving it now. She knows that on a Monday and Wednesday night, again, she's got cadets back.
Yeah. Something to look forward to. And
that's nice.
And
you'd know how nervous. Yeah, and you'd know how nervous she would be because obviously we were nervous about 3/4 of an hour ago going live on this. So, and it would have been our first one. But once you've done it a few times, like anything, it's like riding a bike, riding a horse, whatever analogy you want to put to it. Once you get used to doing it, then it will be fine, and you haven't got the nerves that you've got when you do first set out, isn't it?
Although I will just say, once you get used to doing it, they will change things on Facebook because that's what they do. So don't just put that out there because that's my experience of Facebook and all of the other platforms that they have. That's exactly what they do. Just as I think I know what I'm doing, they will change. They
do. Yes. It's a little bit about
the amount of skills that everybody's now developed from adapting to this environment. The amount of new skills I've got under my belt now that I wouldn't have even turned my hand to before because I wouldn't have ever thought that it wasn't needed. So I think we're proud of it in that light too. And if you can focus on that a little bit, it does help.
I'm going back to you, Susie. So, because like you were saying that like in the first couple of weeks, that's what you were like, apart from like the rocking in the corner. I can actually visualize that, and I'm sure there's people online who have done exactly the same thing, especially if they've got toddlers, because it'd be like you were just suddenly being bombarded with all this stuff. But you also, when you want to do a good job in your workplace, you feel one's taken away from the other all the time. But it took you a couple of weeks and then you settled into it. How did that go? What?
Yeah, it did. So, and I did, and you're absolutely right there. I felt like I'm a person who likes to give 100% to everything I do. I want to be the best mom. I want to be the best at this. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Do it. You don't need to be perfect,
don't you? And you think, well, you've got to stop thinking that way because what is it? What is perfection really? But after that time, and after I started doing it, what I do is embrace it a bit more. So potentially, I'll be doing interviews with people, and I'm just saying, we're just going to have a little visitor because I can sense it now when he's coming. I can sense he's getting bored, and he'll come in and I introduce him, and he has a little moment, and he has that little tiny bit of attention, and then he's quite happy.
And then he goes. Yeah.
It was the way
and at the end of the day, that might be a nice relief for all these people because, I mean, business is business and what you do is very important and all the rest of it. But everyone's human and there's only 2 ways out of this lockdown, and that's dead or alive. So however you can survive it, you survive it at the end of the day. You know, I mean, it's very difficult. There's some people that have got claustrophobia or claustrophobia, who hate being indoors. And sadly, that's happened here in Spain, where a guy had been out 16 or 19 times, and the police had fined him and arrested him. In the end, because he'd crossed the line and broke the lockdown so many times, they actually put him into jail. While he was in jail, he committed suicide. So you just don't know what people are going through. But at the end of the day, you cope the best you can with the tools you've got. And we are lucky that we have these tools. So like the conferencing and talking is great as well, you know. I mean,
like you said, Liz, thank God this wasn't 20 years ago, because we wouldn't have had all this. And you know what? I'm going to say to everybody, even everybody who's watching and all of us, the truth is, you can only look after you. You can't look after everybody else. So actually, this is one of those times where I'm going to say you just need to mind your own business and what anyone else is doing, and you deal with what's in front of you right now. Tomorrow, forget it. It's not here yet. Yesterday's gone. Forget that. Just deal in the here and now. And
day by day,
when you get the opportunity, and that's why one of the reasons we wanted to do this was because we got the opportunity to talk to each other, catch up with what's going on, but also we make it for the laugh. And if we can make other people enjoy, take an hour out of their life and enjoy a bit, but get a bit of information as well, then to me that's a win-win.
That's right. And the people have got to realise they're not alone in this. Everyone's going through something, some way, in different scenarios, some good, some bad. But, you know, like I say, you've got two choices. And I mean, it can be sad. We've heard a lot of sad things, but we've heard a lot of really good, positive things as well. I mean, I've got a girl on one of my Facebook page, on the Facebook I'm friends with. She seems absolutely amazing, and I really applaud her. She's fantastic. She does so much with her kids, and it's really brilliant to see. But that's her and her husband that are doing that with their children. That's not to say that someone else can do the same. I mean, like me, I haven't got any project. I mean, I know my sister's had a marvellous project going on in her garden. It looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's been brilliant.
For me, I mean, I've just been like a really good yeast, you know. I've been sitting in the sun and doubling in size. That's about it, really. I've learned how to drink and I've learned how to eat lots of chocolate. But, you know, that's how we're coping. And
I think I'm getting a bit more exercise, actually. I've been doing PE with Joe Wicks every morning at 9 o'clock, and oh my God. I tried a 9-minute abs workout the other day, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. That really
It's the next day, isn't it? You know, I'm laughing because where I live on a really steep hill. I think I showed it on my video the other day. And for the first couple of weeks, of course, isn't it really weird how people's minds think? Because suddenly you've got this person in authority. So good old Boris, he said, right, you're all going to be locked in. Basically, you're all going to be locked in. You can go out once a day for your daily walk, and you can do blah, 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 blah. Now, suddenly, I see all these people going up and down on their walks. I've lived here for 17 years. I've never seen half of them before. How come suddenly they're deciding to go for a walk? 17 years, none of them have ever gone for a walk before. But it's because somebody in authority has told them they can. They can, or that they should.
Yes.
They planted that seed.
Yes.
So isn't it funny? Because this brings you to how many of the things, because this is a really great example, because if anybody that doesn't know it, most of us, you only have to do something for 21 times on the trot for it to have formed a habit. For everybody, you only have to do it 30 times on the trot, and you've formed a new habit. Interestingly enough, you can break it very quickly, but you can form a new habit just by doing something that many times on the trot. So now it's over 30 days. So anything you've been doing for 30 days, you've now created a habit.
Dear God, I'll be like a bloody barrage balloon by the time I leave this house then.
So the chances are anything you're doing now. So when I sat here for the first 2 weeks eating chocolate every night, I suddenly went, shit, I need to stop this, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get out of my front door.
And how does that work with the wine then? Have you done the same with that?
No.
It doesn't count with wine.
No, cheers. About 17 years, I've never sat at home and drank wine, ever. If I've had friends around or a dinner party or whatever, I've drank.
Different.
But now, yeah, we do it, because this to me is like socialising, isn't it?
Yeah,
or when you've had, you know, because we've done lots of things on meetings and Zoom and FaceTime. We've done quizzes and surprise birthdays.
Yes,
networking and you know, and all of them obviously. Well, not my 10 o'clock in the morning networking, but the others all deserve a glass of wine.
We're not quite there yet, are we?
No.
Actually, it's a shame I didn't bring it in, because actually I have seen the best thing ever that's been invented. Have you seen the Zoom suit? Have you seen the Facebook? The Zoom suit. This guy's invented a suit that literally is that bit. So actually all you can see is this bit. And it's actually a shirt, jacket and tie, literally. So the guy's there and he's lying there on his sofa with his can of Stella, and then the thing rings on his laptop. So he jumps up, puts the thing on, the suit on, and sits in front of his laptop.
Does the hair at the same time, because that's the bit, isn't it?
The other one, I've seen a good one where you get a mug of tea, like as if you've got, you know, your favourite mug. You know the tea bags that are like the herbal tea bags with the string? So what you do is you break off the string, sellotape it to the inside of the mug, fill it with wine or Prosecco or whatever you're drinking, and drink that. Everybody will think you're having a cup of tea.
Yes!
I think we should be giving that and putting this message out there to turn everyone into raging alcoholics. It's not really.
You didn't hear that from me. I swear to God.
My house, no drinking until at least after 7 o'clock p.m.
But is he, Suzie,
always 7 o'clock somewhere.
Is he? Yeah, well, this is true. Yeah, is he wine o'clock already though?
It's wine. Yeah. It's 9 o'clock now.
Oh, that's okay then. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. It's always. Look, it used to be our mantra.
We drink though.
It's always 7 o'clock somewhere. Definitely.
I have to tell you though that I do walk the dog. Apart from eating chocolate and drinking wine, I do walk the dog because Chris hasn't been very well. Got sciatica. He can't walk. So all the chores, all the tasks have been left to me. And to be honest with you, it's been the best thing for me, because I probably I do go walking, obviously, and I'm quite active. I mean, my fantastic yoga teacher, she does 4 classes a week online, live, and I love to go to her and do the classes with her, and it makes me feel good and then ready to carry on. But I do go for a walk. The only thing here is quite remote, so it can, not scary, but you are aware. And the one day I walked around, did a big circle, and I came across, I mean, you don't see anybody. It was just me and the dog, and big circle. And I came across a guy sitting in a car, big guy sitting in a car, and I thought, oh shit. I come across this guy. Luckily, I couldn't see any movement in the car, so there was no...
nothing untoward going on.
Nothing suspicious as such that I could see anyway. But I thought, oh God, it's all about me, of course. So I thought, oh God. So I picked up a rock as big as his ashtray, and I thought, right, if I hear the car door going, he's going to get this rock straight across his temple. And then I'm like, right, if I can figure this lead into some kind of noose, because, oh God, I feel awful now, because he was a long noose, and a long lead, not long noose.
Long noose!
If I can figure this lead into some kind, and I will use it. So I'm walking away, and luckily I didn't hear the car door go. So me and the dog walked right home, and I dropped the rock at the gate. So I was all right with that. And then it wasn't until you said, Claire.
No, because you weren't worried about the man, were you?
No, it was about me.
No,
exactly. It was all about me, and how safe that I was going to make myself. And how ready I was.
Poor bloke.
And I said, what? What was it?
Claire said, do you think he was all right? You don't think he was going to try and do anything, or did you see anything? And I thought, oh my God, yeah, actually. Well, I'd got a lead if he wanted it, but no, I just thought, oh God, when Claire raised it, I actually went and walked that way again.
You did go the next day, didn't you? You went to check it out because she was so. I planted the seed, and I didn't really do it on purpose, but that's what went into my head. Obviously, it's a bit weird in there. And so I had to voice it. And the next day, you went back and checked out, didn't you, to make sure we.
So I went and checked out. The car wasn't there. He wasn't still sitting in it. There was nothing hanging out of a tree or anything like that. So I think he just wanted 15, 30 minutes just out of the scenario of it, possibly, because he seemed a youngish man in his 30s who probably just wanted to breathe away from the family, just to get his thoughts together and everything like that. But do you know what? I never even gave him a thought, and that sounds so bad. And it was you that highlighted that to me. But then I couldn't settle. I couldn't sleep.
No.
That's why I had to go back.
And luckily, you know, we're all different, aren't we? We do think, but it was, and maybe that is because of the people that I have to deal with on a daily basis, but it was genuinely the first thing that came into my head, rather than, I had to laugh, Liz, and you said, well, it's all about me, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're the one who's got
self-preservation is a key thing as well. What you think about in situations like that, if I was alone walking my dog in a remote area and I saw a bloke who potentially very easily could overpower me in any way, shape or form, my first thought would be, get the hell out of there. Not, I'm going to go and check if he's all right, because what if it was the other situation?
Yeah,
potentially that's why I get myself
in sense to be able to go and check on him if that comes into your head. But the fact that it didn't even pop into your head, though, Liz, is a bit.
I know.
It was the only thing that came into my head. That is also a worry, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, because then you put yourself at risk if you never walk up the Wrekin on your own. Telling you that.
Well, there's not much chance of that happening.
I feel
after doing the garden.
I feel very selfish. Afterwards I felt selfish, but I think what it is, I mean, as you both know, I practiced martial arts and I taught self-defense to women for years and years and years before we came to Spain. And that mindset is still with me. It's self-preservation. And I think because I taught self-defense, immediately I was aware that it could be a situation that may not be the best situation. So I was preparing myself for it.
And you were quite right to do that, Liz. I mean, absolutely quite right to do it. And again, it's not about wrong and right, really, is it? Because it's just about showing the uniqueness of a person and how your own beliefs and your own ethics, morals, it doesn't matter what we want to call it, but make you, and it's your life experiences that make you react in different ways to different things. And I'll always be the idiot that steps into things to try,
calm it down.
My brain works,
I mean, I see. I'm pretty full on. I will face a situation. I mean, let me tell you this. I was speaking to Stacey, one of my work colleagues, and she heard a horrendous noise outside of her house a couple of days ago, and she must be like me because she got herself a knife and went out. God knows what she was going to do with this knife, but she was protecting her son, who was like a couple of years old, and she thought, right, whoever's outside my house is going to get it. So I said to her, I will let you know about the story. I was at home at my sister's house in England, and the one night, and I was staying with her, I was sleeping in the same bed, and the one night we heard this almighty bang, 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 bang. So I was built up right, and I'm like, Melinda, what's going on? There's somebody downstairs. So she's like, oh God. So I'm like, we've got to go down. I mean, we were there ready. So anyway, get out of bed. So Melinda decided she couldn't go downstairs and confront anyone until she had a wee. So she went to the toilet, and while she was in the toilet, I'd got myself an ironing board. So I thought, well, I've got an ironing board and I'll hold it kind of like a shield, but I could also use it like a defense stick.
Yeah.
So I came down the stairs, we got the dog in front, and he was barking his head off. And then Melinda appeared with the Hoover behind me. It was like something out of Beauty and the Beast. So we kicked open the door in the kitchen, and I'm like, all right, you beep, God. And I'm like, come on then. Anyway, we were like shaking. Got to the kitchen, nobody in the kitchen. So we opened the patio doors, and she said, oh, they're in the garage. They're in the garage. And I'm like, okay then. Right, what we'll do then, I'll kick the garage closed and you lock the door. So that's what we did. I kicked it, she locked the door, and we're like, stay there till I'm on you. Blah, 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 bleep, 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 bleep.
I can imagine.
Went to bed, went back up to bed, and then all of a sudden we started like laughing. And we said, what are you laughing at? She said, what do you think we were going to do? Housework them to death with an ironing board and a hoover.
Yeah, but you do pick up anything you can, don't you? We just had a couple of messages, girls. Hannah's happened to say on here, it's lovely to see you, Hannah, but she's put, yeah, you're right. She's obviously going back to something we said about the technology. You're right. Once you get used to doing something, they change it. Debbie's saying about, and now I'm not sure who she's referring to here, but she said she's always been a bad influence. I'm not sure whether she's talking about me or you, Liz. Cheers to Claire. You said cheers. It's lovely to see you, Claire. Haley's actually saying she got a little bit distracted. Are we singing Vera Lynn at 9 o'clock?
Well, why not? Shall we have a go? Now we've had a couple of drinks, it makes no odds, does it?
I think the Queen, actually, to be fair, isn't the Queen's speech at 9 as well?
Yeah,
I think we better shut this down because we need to, the people will be needing to go off to get that. But you know what? I want to say
we can sing. Can't we sing ourselves out of this?
We can sing ourselves out. We're going to sing ourselves out. But anybody wants to put anything in the comments, please do. We're going to get anyone that wants, next week.
And anyone that wants to sing along with us, sing with us.
Yes, we're going to stay on a couple of minutes longer just to sing this. So, Liz, you take us away.
Oh, I don't know. Do I know the words?
You can't expect me to do it, look. I don't do singing.
We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when. We'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies chase the black skies all away. And won't you please say hello to the folks that we know? Tell them I won't be long.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the rest of the word.
All right.
Well, sorry, everybody.
I'll complete it next week. Bye. Happy V-Day. Bye. Cheers, girls.
Oh, I just found how to stop the live stream straight away.
Oh, thank God for that.
I hope so.
I think that went really...
I'm still looking at my phone and it looks like it's still going, but that was us 20 seconds ago.
I think that went really, really well.
Did you?
I do.
Yeah, what do you feel, Suze?
Yeah, well, it went quick.
It
did go quick.
It went quick, yeah.
I need to make sure that I've got something on here, so because I was able to keep up with the comments, so that was good. That's proved something, so that was good.
I think that was really good because it was really interactive.
That's what I wanted. That's what I was worried about. But knowing that with my phone now, I've got it.
Well done.
Well done, Claire.
You did the first one.
Yay!
Gold star for the producer. I'll let her off a bit now for the beginning. Error.
I can have a fag. Can I have a fag now?
Thank you for keeping an eye on the time, Suze. I think I will. I need to have. I need a clock in here of some sort as well, obviously, to keep an eye on that because it was a bit weird.
No, that's okay.